Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the VR Master League. We are here today to bring you a fantastic matchup, and by we, I mean Noman with a 4, that's me. And joining me on the co-casting desk is Sleepy with 2 3s. Sleepy, how are you doing this fine Sunday?
I am doing well, Noman. I'm excited to get back again behind the desk. It's been a while for me. I've been really busy. You and I think the last time you and I casted, other than this recent customs map thing that I hopped into with Trip and Vivian yesterday, that was probably the last thing that I casted. So glad to be back behind the desk. Glad to be here with you, Noman, for another Sunday Slaughterfest as we bring up this pretty dope matchup here this weekend. One of the last ones of the weekend, too, and of this regular week. We've got Mayhem versus Globochem. Noman, thoughts right out of the gate. What do you think?
Yeah, these matchups have been so great in the last season and a half or so. The two games that we played, I had the privilege of casting the last one with Nightfire, and it was a pretty tight score line. I remember the matches were going down to 1-1s pretty much every round, and the scores were always tight. I believe 6-10 and 11-7, both in the favor of Globochem both times. But really tight matchups. These are two really well-matched teams. Mayhem's in 9th rank. Globo obviously still holding that first spot. But the ranking really doesn't show how well these two teams match up against each other. And I'm excited to bring that to everybody today. So let's kick things off. Let's talk about bans, Sleepy. On the home side, the Mayhem ban came out as Suburbia. And on the Globochem side, they've opted to ban Subway. Do either of those strike you as odd? One of them definitely strikes me as strange. What are your thoughts? Did we lose Sleepy? I think we lost Sleepy somewhere.
Oh, no, we're not. I muted myself as to not hear a bunch of click-clacking in the background as I typed up some things. But no, actually, these bans make a lot of sense to me, Noman, because as we were talking about a little bit before we got into the match here, Globochem is 90% effective at winning on Suburbia. So that ban coming out from Mayhem is very smart. Then if we look to the side of Mayhem for their matches all-time played history, their win percentage on Subway is 89%. So both of those maps are very strong for both of those teams. So I think we're seeing a matter of banning the other team's strength in order to keep that from becoming a possibility later on down the map.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't realize that Suburbia stat had shifted so much for Globochem. I know they struggled on it last season. That's why it kind of seemed a little odd. But it does. I don't think it's one of Mayhem's favorite maps either. So I think it's a sort of a dual purpose ban for them. Well, fantastic. We've got that down. Let's get our first map choice in. And that is going to be Mayhem's pick, which is Cargo. Cargo is going to be the first map that we take everyone here too. And what are your thoughts on how this Cargo is going to go? I mean, obviously previous stats notwithstanding, how do you feel this is going to work out?
Yeah, so, Mayhem's done a lot of improvement over the last few seasons. They came in as a pretty solid team to begin with, and now they're just building on that with their cohesion. They've got a lot to work against, though, because Globochem has had that for many seasons now. Now, there is a bit of an asterisk with that, right, because Globochem has made some changes to their ranking, so they're maybe not as solidified as they were back when Pants, Toast, and Arsenic were on the team, because that group had been together for a very long time. Now, I'm not saying that this group of guys does not work well together or that they can't do it, because they're still winning. They're still getting it done. They're still doing what they have to do. But Mayhem, I do feel, is going to provide a good fight for them. And because it's Cargo, and some of us, you hear some of us talk about this a lot. Cargo and Suburbia, they're maps that don't necessarily just like immediately give you a favorite, right? Like some maps you're like, oh, it's kind of a very Volk favored map, or this and that. But not so much with Cargo or Suburbia. I don't really find, and I find that even new teams can usually do damage against even older veteran teams, because the maps have been in for so long that even if players may be just coming into the competitive scene, they've probably played Suburbia and Cargo and all the, most of these maps a lot already. So most players know about what's going on with the maps already. So even new players can learn and pick up callouts pretty quickly. So I think Mayhem will probably give them a good run for their money. I have a feeling maybe they've got some tricks up their sleeve, but I'm excited to see how it comes out either way.
Fantastic. You won't have to wait too long, as I've given the go-ahead to the teams to kick things off here. And before they do, really quickly, we're going to run down the list of players. Mayhem's coming in with James Boak, Potato Bot, Technic, Wookie, and Monarchid. On the Globochem side, they have fielded Mixologist, Auto, Mike Crook, Beep Boop Bob, and Thunder Pilot. And with that, we don't have to wait much longer at all as the first round of Map 1 kicks off. Cargo, Mayhem on the offense, Globochem on the defense. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be some intense stuff. Now, these teams, they have slow play. They have fast play. You never know what's going to come out.
Definitely a mixed bag with both of these squads, so you're absolutely right. But Auto is going to get taken down with the quick shots from Potato Bot. Beep Boop Bop is going to be stuck here right behind this crate. Now, if Potato Bot was smart, he'd actually go ahead and pre-fire those. Oh, wait, no, those are the ones that are not penetrable. That's right.
Correct, yeah. These are the ammo crates. They do not allow bullet penetration. Some of these black covered, the tarp covered cardboard or whatever that is, do actually have penetration.
Because it doesn't stop any bullets, that's for sure.
Yeah, a little bit of pre-fire coming out on both sides, just sort of checking common spots. Mixologist here looking away at the right time. Monarchid was testing that position right when he looked away, so a good timing on that rotation from Mixologist. Now we're starting to see Monarchid tossing a bit of a smoke. Not really effective. Going out the other way of that tunnel, not going to help much of anything. Technic here still looking at Beep Boop Bob, and unfortunately can't shoot the toes. He's looking for the toe shot here, and he's not going to find it. And they're sort of just getting set up. I mean, they're doing their testing. There it is. Monarchid does find Mixologist in that spot, very aware of that position.
Here comes Beep Boop Bob, and James is going to see it. He's going to go for the res. He might be able to squeak this out. He does pick up Mixologist. Now the pressure's on. They're going after Monarchid, and Beep Boop Bob's going to find him. They've even things back out. Mayhem's down one. Now Beep Boop Bob's going to find another under Monarchid. We're back to a 4v4, 4.5 minutes left, and James Woke has actually already taken out some center C4 there on the defensive, and he's called that out. Now Wookie's on the backside. He's going for Beep Boop Bob, but he doesn't get it.
Yeah, it was a great push by Beep Boop Bob there. He's a little bit further than I think anybody on the offense would have anticipated a defender being. That rush after the res was a good call on his part, picking up 2 so far. TatoBot finds Thunder Pilot there on the backside as well, and now things are opening up quite a bit. Mike Crook does find the front of Technic as he comes through that eastern side, and now...
But the backside of the Globo defense is weak at the moment. PotatoBot could find an angle around it, but no, there we go. Mike Crook going to be making the rotation now on his own to cover that backside. So a pretty solid little triangular defense to surround the objective, but they might need to calm down on the movement, because all this movement, they're running right out into these paths, and there you can see it, James Boak having a poke at Beep Boop Bob, but he's not going to make any connections.
No, he's still got quite a bit of work to do here, and a lot of time to do it. 3 minutes, 32 seconds. He's going to opt for the long rotation out and find a new approach. The defense still rotating, trying to find where this adjustment is coming from. James now looking at Beep Boop Bob's aggressive positioning here. Might be able to find him here. He does on the long peek through the tunnel, and that's going to even things out quite a bit. Another one going down as PotatoBot trades out with Mike Crook, and we're into a 1v1 here in the first round.
Yeah, dangerous territory here for Globochem. Mayhem really showing that they came to flex their stuff today, and they're doing quite well. They're answering back, they're refragging. A little caught off guard by a couple of things. Beep Boop Bob, like you said, that aggressive push transaction off the res was a very smart play, and as you said, the offense wasn't ready for it. Now we get into a trade on the backside, and here comes James and Mixologist. They're looking for each other, and James pops up. He finds the shot, and Mayhem take their Marsoc round here on Cargo.
Yeah, fantastic series to start things off. Exactly what we were talking about before the game kicked off, where a lot of these rounds for a lot of the games that we've casted have gone to a 1v1 at the end, or a 1v2. Really tight score lines between these, really good kill trading between the two teams. And we see that right there as Mayhem manages to squeak out a nice Marsoc victory here to kick things off. What could have gone better for Globochem there? Where was the mistake? Because I felt like they played pretty tight. They rotated well, maybe a little too aggressive towards the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the only fault I'm finding in it. Thinking back through the round, I mean, was Beep Boop Bob's aggression was risky? Yes. Was it a mistake? No, because obviously he was able to get a couple of picks there. But yeah, I think the excessive rotation from the defense there towards the end of the round ended up costing them a little bit, because they were making a lot of movements, and as we saw, as Beep Boop Bob pushed over kind of towards the left side of the map there, he gave James the opportunity to spot him out and kind of get a location on him. And I think up until that point, they really didn't have any other idea of where the remaining members were, because everything had kind of gone into this big, like, you know, fur ball as things started to pop off there towards the mid and end portions of the round. But, you know, I think otherwise it was really good. Globochem did what they needed to do. Mayhem just brought a better game there. But I will say that even though they were doing a lot of rotating in that last 3-man defense, I do like how they set that triangular defense up around the objective with the 3 men, because they had pretty much all angles covered. The front 2 could cover left, right, and center, and then the guy in the back could, of course, cover the back. But that's enough about this round.
That is
Let's
enough
talk
about
the
that.
next
Yeah,
one.
that's it. That's enough, Sleepy. That is quite enough, because round 2's underway. Mayhem now on the defense for the same objective. Globochem going to be attacking it. We'll see what the difference is in these offensive approaches. Like, we saw that Mayhem took their time. They looked for those picks, and they made their pushes when they needed to. I like their little flank rotation around the opposite side. Good bit of pre-fire coming out here. Thunder Pilot does find one as Monarch Kid goes down, attempting to push that center.
Ooh, Thunder Pilot tries to get greedy and pop out and find Technic, but he's not able to do it, and I think another try will cost him his life. He's thinking about it, but the penetration, I think Technic...
Oh, I think he shot his
Thunder's
back
not
through the
happy
wall
about that.
there. Yeah, Thunder's upset about that, and the confirmation nade comes out. Otto's going to find Wookie, and now we are into a 3v4. Quite a bit of fire coming out on all sides here, trying to keep track of where everybody's pushing. Mike Kirk and Otto on the east side are going to be the closest ones pushing. Mike Kirk is rocking that shield. This is the first shield we've seen so far, but not surprising to see from a Globochem offense.
Yeah, especially on cargo. You know, you're so exposed on this map. Like, anytime you're cut out in the open, you have no protection realistically. Beat Boop Bob though, gonna find James Boak. Now Technic's getting into the mix against Mix, and Mix is gonna take down Technic now. Beat Boop Bob's run up. He's on the objective, but it doesn't matter because Globochem will get their kills and they'll tie things up, taking the Marsoc round of their own here on cargo.
They do indeed, and that was such a... I almost want to call it just a precise offense. They knew where they wanted to go. They knew where the picks they needed to get were. They understood the defensive positioning, and the challenge is, like, there weren't really any trades. You know what I mean? The offense was in the right spot when they needed to be in the right spot, and that went off pretty much without a hitch, I think, on the Globochem side.
Yeah, I mean, pretty well done all around. It's just... Globo was ready for it. I mean, other than the one slip up that, you know, Thunder Pilot had where his body was sticking through the wall and, you know, Technic decided to take the shot and take the kill. I mean, he's not taking any chances when it comes to Globochem. I mean, really, I think that's what it really comes down to. It's just, you gotta try and take whatever edge you can get. Now, a lot of the guys in the community, especially a lot of the more veteran players, will kind of frown upon that and kind of give you a hard time on it. And, you know, it's a matter of opinion, really. I personally don't, you know, smile upon it. I don't think it's really the right thing to do. But, you know, there are other teams who, for a long time, honored that whole, you know, don't shoot through the wall thing. And then because they were having it done to them by other teams, they decided to say, well, you know what? We're not going to be the nice guys anymore, so we're going to do it too. Because I remember specifically Landon Jordan of SMC used to, like, stop and call people out and be like, I can see your toes, or, you know, something like, to mess with them. And I mean, granted, he's probably still going to end up getting the kill because they're thrown off and they're going to peek and try and see where he is. But, you know, some people just got fed up with being the nice guy while everyone else was still taking advantage of it. And I think maybe that's just what Mayhem's decided. They're like, we don't want to risk it going against us, so we'll take the chance and do it ourselves. I don't know, but I'm not going to speak for their team. So,
yeah, it is it's an unfortunate side effect of the sort of state of development that a lot of the games in VR have. I mean, of course, tracking IK along with objects is it's no easy feat. It's up to each individual player to handle that situation however they deem fit, and, you know, we'll figure it out in the end. Lots of pre-fire coming out here in round 3 already. We're seeing Globochem laying it down this time. I'm surprised to not see the offense utilizing it as much.
Potato Bot was actually laying some suppressive back, but just in bursts, I think, just to keep them from maybe pushing up that lane that they were watching. But yeah, this time Mayhem's definitely on the back foot. They're not even part of the way as for I mean, hell, they're barely out of the spawn at this point.
Yeah, the overhead map showing, I mean, they're still basically just rotating around there. they're trying to sort of encompass their own spawn a little bit and see if anybody from Globochem is going to come into the kill zone in the middle there, but I think they should know by now that Globochem, not really one for those aggressive defensive pushes. They like their tucked in spots. They know where they want to be. They know the coverage they want to have, and they're going to keep it until they start losing people.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna, even if they have a 3-0 lead on a map, they don't take unnecessary risks like that just for the sake of it.
Finally, Mayhem getting set up here on the east side. Technic, Potato Bot, and Wookie making their approach.
Interested to see how this plays out with such a a side-heavy push here. I actually thought the whole team was going to stack up there, but it does look like maybe Monarchid and James might go ahead and stick off to the other side, though Monarchid is slowly but surely rotating over to meet his team.
Yeah, they're finally starting to push up into the middle. Looks like the call's coming out. The smokes are in. Monarchid's going to find the first pick here onto Green Barrels as Beep Boop Bob is taken out. Red smoke on the objective is not ideal, but it's not the only one that they're going to send out. My guess is that there's still quite a few remaining. They're sending a little bit of pre-fire into the smoke. For any defensive rotations, Globochem not getting caught out just yet. And a nice little, ooh, I like that Molotov there. Nice toss. Not going to find any love, however. Mayhem opts to rotate out to the other side. Mix here is going to have his hands full in just a few moments. A lot of pre-fire coming out through smoke here onto Otto's position. I think everyone in the league knows this is Otto's building here.
I don't think this, because of the way the cargo objectives are set and how often and how similar they are, a lot of the positions remain the same between teams and even between, rosters, and keeping, things pretty similar, especially if it works. I mean, the Globochem defense tends to work out more often than it doesn't on this objective with the way they set it up. But yeah, their positions rarely change. Monarchid and Mixologist going to pick up a trade. Mayhem will lose there first, and Mixologist will be down partly for the count.
Oh, Mike Crook finding a nice kill with the C4 there as Wookie goes down in the mid. A nice peek there to spot when he wanted to detonate it. And there's the confirm coming out. And a little bit more pre-fire down towards James's position as Globochem evens things up a little bit. A discussion about whether or not to go for that res for Mix. It seems like it's a little dangerous for them right now, but Otto's going to make it a little safer as he finds Potato Bot in the middle. And that is 3 down for Mayhem now. Confirm coming out from James.
Oh, now he's looking. Mike's looking for the peek from the tunnel. Thunder's going to blast his C4. That'll be all of the C4 now, I believe, from the Globochem side, taken down and or exploded. But James is going to, ooh, he barely makes it out there. And now he's going to look for the refrag. Mike Cook's going to rotate off, but Otto will be there to find the coverage instead.
That is going to leave just one remaining Technic on the backside here. Still not really in sync with the team, right? He's not there for the refrags. When James was making that push, it's a good time to make a little confusion, keep, Otto or Thunder occupied. But the smokes are coming in. He's got a lot of work to do in a minute and 20 seconds. 3 members of Globochem still to find here. As Mike Kirk is lasered in, pun intended, on his position, and the laser pays off as Technic goes down and Globochem find themselves another round win on defense this time.
That is right, and Globochem has now set the scales tipped back towards the favored Volk side, so now all they have to do is win their Volk rounds in order to secure the rest of this map. But we know Mayhem isn't going to make it that easy either.
No, I can't imagine it's going to be a simple one and done here. They came out strong on an offensive win in that first round. We'll see if they can carry something over. They're going to need to win a defense. They've yet to win a defensive round so far. And now that it's shifted to their side, they'll have to hold for that same objective. A pretty solid overall defense there. Opting to not rotate to pick up Mix ended up being the right choice. It seemed like there was quite a bit of coverage around his position by the offense, at least sort of in the mid game, the rotation there from Technic and James eventually bring it up a bit. But of course, Globochem would not know that, as only the casters can see where the positions of these players are. Everyone else is operating on limited HUDs. It's all about that realism, Sleepy.
That's right. That is right. We don't give you no stinking HUDs. You don't get an ammo count. You better be able to count burrets if you want an ammo count.
Globochem now on the offense, no shield. Mike Crook is not bringing the shield this time. I think he's going the complete opposite and bringing the LMG. And speaking of LMG, a little bit of pre-fire coming out through the smoke. Mayhem not going to be rotating into it as they stay tucked in inside of what I'm going to call Otto's building, just because I feel like that's the only thing I ever see is Otto inside of that building when I
can we call it? Can we call it the Auto Shop?
Ooh, I like that. I like. Yeah, I guess Auto Shop is good. Pending further review. A little bit of pre-fire there from Otto, the man who owns the shop. A little bit more pre-fire coming in, and Mayhem pretty much is, I mean, just tucked. They are all tucked in. C4 blowing a little early there. The offense slowly starting to make their push in. Some nades coming out, checking for any aggressive offensive positioning. The first pick will come to Mike Crook as Technic goes down on the backside, and Thunder Pilot finds another in Potato Bot. East side opening up a little bit.
Wow, Globochem just slowly picking apart this Mayhem defense right now. You would think Otto is mad that all these coronavirus looters have taken over his auto shop, but James Volk and Mike Crook will trade. Wookie's on the back to go for the res. That'll help out, but he's going to need to get it quick. Modern Kid's playing on his own here. He's fighting up against 3 Globochem members who managed to pick 1. Now it's a 3v3, 4.5 minutes, and there he goes walking out right in front of Thunder Pilot. Thunder Pilot will get the kill. James Volk will return the favor. Now it's just Beep Boop Bob and Mixologist going up against Wookie and James Bach.
He's not aware of Beep Boop Bob's position here, but Beep Boop Bob can't see him through the smoke. Mixologist finds one. He finds it back at James Boak. Wookie rotates into the corner. Beep Boop Bob pushing now. Is Wookie going to be ready for this? I don't think he is. Beep Boop Bob finds the kill, and Globochem go up 3-1 here on map 1.
Wow, that was a roller coaster ride of emotions there, Noman. I mean, you saw, like, initially you saw Globochem just kind of picking off Mayhem, then all of a sudden the tides turn, then it's a dead even game, then all of a sudden picks come out, refrags come, then it's, you know, it just falls apart. I mean, these two teams are well matched right now, and this is proving it. I mean, anything that one does, the other tends to counter pretty quickly. But I don't know, man. It's still a toss-up. It's 3-1 in the first map, but I still feel like Mayhem could come back and take this thing.
I mean, the rounds are just going down to such a small amount of members on both sides. They're both being effective. It's just Globochem is coming out on 1 or 2 trades in their favor, you know. And Mayhem there, as you said, had taken the lead initially. They were able to get a res on a player after a trade, and that's a big deal. To you know, trades are kind of a way of life here in Onward, and to be able to come out of one with a res is so big, and just weren't quite able to capitalize on it. The smokes that were on objective, just enough to create enough noise and confusion to force Mayhem to rotate enough and have Globo pick them off as they made their approach. And it really could have gone either way if Mayhem was maybe a little bit more patient. I don't know. It's hard when smokes are on objective and you're on the field. You know what I mean? It's so difficult to want to rotate and cover as many angles as possible, but at the same time trying not to get shot while doing it. It's such a difficult choice to make. And Mayhem there, not, you know, they didn't know that they weren't opting for the right choice, but
they never do.
They never do.
Okay.
All right, we are now into our
here, break it up, Mayhem. Get out of here.
5th round underway. Globochem on the defense and potentially their final defense of the map. Pre-fire coming out from Otto on the angle. Mayhem opting not to push into it. I think a few rounds down their way instead. Tatobot and James both pre-firing the smoke, but it's not effective as Mixologist and Mike Crook do get set up on that east side for the ambush. Anybody decides to lazily walk through the east, they will be greeted by quite a bit of gunfire.
For sure, Otto going to go ahead and do his part for his team and relocate some of those offensive smokes. It's going to get him out of the map, get him out of the way, so that sight lines are clear and his team can hold their spots to defend this, what could be their final objective on this map.
And silence falls onto the battlefield as Mayhem struggles to figure out where this defense is. And they're not going to know until they're pretty much right in the sight lines. All of these are very tight angles that Globochem is holding.
Yeah, I think Globochem's thinking, okay, let's just go ahead and close out map 1, get that one under our belts. We go to our map where we're in a little bit more control. I mean, you never have complete control unless the team you're going up against is just absolute garbage on a specific map. But yeah, so I think right now they're just like, play it safe, guys. We'll get the point. We'll take the first map win, keep the point spread at 4-1, and then move on to the next map where we can secure the whole series if if it goes our way. So I think they're probably playing it safe. Something that's not unlike Globochem to do. I mean, they want their wins, and if that means playing it safe to get them and doing what they have to do and playing it smart, then that's what they're going to do. It looks like PotatoBot's about to catch the long eye of Thunderpilot, and yes, he does. What a long angle and barely able to see it, but he does take him down. He's not able to confirm, though, so the res should be coming out here unless Mixologist gets freaky, and he's going to, but James is going to be right there to answer back.
Yeah, it was a great peek by James. He almost got caught out. Mix's trigger finger just a little too slow to catch him on that initial rotation. But he is able to get the res, and that is going to swing things back in the favor of Mayhem as a little bit more fire comes out towards Beep Boop Bob's position here from the center. Wookie sending a little bit of that down himself. Thunderpilot does finish what he started, and PotatoBot is out now, evening things up to a 4-4.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I would have went back and stood in that doorway, considering that's the same doorway you died in the first time. But Technic's now moving on the backside, and he's going to be engaging with Thunderpilot here. A little bit of pre-fire already out from Thunder, but Thunder's not careful. It looks like Monarchid's actually got an angle on him too, so if he goes to rotate out, he's kind of screwed here. Mayhem looking good on this attack push all of a sudden.
Yeah, they absolutely are. Those two quick picks were a big deal for them. Thunder does rotate, but he's fast enough. Gets out of the way of Monarchid's bullets. He's continuing to rotate, finds the back of Technic, and now Monarchid's got to deal with him in the smoke. Here he does.
Wow, nice play there from Monarchid. I really thought Thunder was going to catch him slipping there because of the smoke. He was starting to run the other way there at first. I was like, uh-oh, Monarchid's about to get it too, but no, he manages to save it. Now it's all up to Beep Boop Bob. He's got 3 attackers approaching him. We're just under the 3-minute mark now. Here comes some more smokes. They're going to blot out the sun here. And Beep Boop Bob's going to have to make a real tough decision.
It's Mike Crook, not Beep Boop Bob.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yep, it is Mike Crook. Sorry.
But he is indeed going to be trying to defend against this Christmas-themed attack, but it comes fast and loose as Wookie finds the final pick, and Mayhem find themselves their second round win here, but the first one since the first round. So, I mean, it's been a minute. They had to really claw their way back on this one. James finding a series of good kills there in that round to bring Mayhem back. What a really good push by Mayhem there, as they really did a good job.
Yeah, and I mean it literally goes back to what I just said before this round started. Like, I'm not counting Mayhem out yet, and there they go. They come back and they win a Marsoc round to prove it.
Can they win the defensive rounds, though? Because that has been the problem so far. They've got the Marsoc pushes pretty much down pat. They need to find a way to translate that into a defensive win. I mean, the problem is, as a defender, you are reactive, right? There's no, for most defensive plays, there's not a lot of sort of offensive sides to it. You don't actually try to push through, at least most teams don't. So I can see where the disconnect there is when they can move together and synchronize and rotate and do the things they need to do to find the defenders. It's a totally different beast when you have to sort of sit in place and watch an angle. And if you get antsy or you make the wrong call or you make the wrong rotation, you get punished for it a lot more as a defender than, of course, you would if you were on offense. So they're still struggling with their Volk rounds. No Volk rounds yet for Mayhem, and they need this one if they want to stay in the first map.
Yeah, Globochem needs a good Marsoc round like I need a hole in the head right now. They've been executing on their Marsoc rounds, and Mayhem has too, but like you said, they can't find that defense, and that's what they need more than life itself right now.
I hear smoke and flash coming out from the Mayhem folks. Load in, and they're talking about smoking and flashing, so we're going to see if that works out as their defensive strategy. I'm wondering if that's a shift from their standard, as we have not seen flashbangs come out yet. Nice little C4 placement by PotatoBot there. Mixologist is going to find an initial pick there on Monarchid through that rotation. in the west. A nice little pick there is going to open up the west side a little bit. And now the tunnel push is coming through as we see 3 members of the offense.
Yeah, Globochem actually really like to attack this one from the backside, like this big open area on the southern portion of the map. They like to come around and through that side to attack. They don't really like to go around by the cargo boxes very much. I mean, it's not that they won't have people there, like that's definitely a part of their push, but it always seems like the main attack comes from this tunnel exit through the backside, south side of the map.
Mike Crook throwing that little nade around the corner is going to find one, and that is a fantastic C4 as it downs the 2 members pushing through the tunnel.
Right for it with 0 cares, but he takes down Potato Bot instead. I did not see that coming. Now he's going to be able to get both of those reses up because Mike Crook will be able to come up. He'll go and res Thunder Pilot, and now Globochem will be back up to 4 members against Mayhem's 3, but it's not over because they're all 3 kind of stuck back there right now. They've got to make it out of that portion of the map before they can be, you know, considered safe.
Yeah, it's a 3v4 now. The defense is kind of pressed up against the objective here. Not a spot you want to be in. You want a little bit of freedom of movement. Technic looking to find that pick onto Mike Crook's shield, but so
Just
far,
trying to shoot that hand.
not a whole lot of love there. He's just keeping him suppressed. He just doesn't want him anywhere near. But Wookie's the one on the rotation. He's going to trade out with Thunder Pilot as he tries to go deal with that shield. And now it's 3 members of Globo to 2 on Mayhem. No one really on objective, but James has a pretty decent line there.
Yeah, because they can't really cap out front without him being able to see it. Ooh, that bounce off of that girder did not help Mixologist smoke there. Mix, though, will find James smoke as he rotates into that center portion, and now things are looking pretty grim as the 3-man push from Globochem is coming out. Auto's checking the backside of the alleys. Technic sees Mike Crook, but he can't make the connections. There's really nothing he can do because Mike Crook is just keeping him pressed. There's the run-up. Mike finds the shots, and Globochem take map number 1 of the 4-2 win.
A fantastic series there. Globochem finding their stride. I mean, that C4 could have really turned things around. Unfortunately, no one there to capitalize and get those confirms. That's the problem. You always want to follow that up with like a grenade or something, because that could have been a fantastic play for the Mayhem defense, but they weren't able to find anything there in that final round, and Globochem is going to take that first map 4-2. So we'll see what map 2 has in store for us. It's neither of the subs. No Subway, no Suburbia. What are your thoughts on what this map might be? Quick, before they pick.
Yeah, right. I'm going to say Bazaar.
Bazaar is the Bazaar pick is what Sleepy says. But we'll see if Sleepy is right, because the map is loading right now.
Right, meow.
And
it's Tanker.
It is not Tanker. It is Downfall Day will be the pick coming out from the Globochem side.
Lost my touch.
Downfall, of course, the map that many of us dread, and probably none more so than when you play Globochem. They are just a terror on it. They've got the fantastic long-range play. They've got Mike Crook on there now with the fantastic sniper work he does. Thunder Pilot is also a force to be reckoned with when it comes to playing on Downfall. So,
I think we might have a rehost here, Noman.
Oh, a rehost. Oh,
yeah, 'cause
devastating. Absolutely
nobody's
devastating. Well, we can't cast a match that isn't happening, so let's just go ahead and get ourselves reset. We may have to re-choose the maps here. I'm going to throw us over to just a quick intermission while we do that, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a minute or two. All right, we're back in it. We're back in it to win it. You can see there's been an adjustment. So there was a rehost, and that was because the map was incorrectly selected. It is going to be Quarantine as the Globochem pick for map 2. So the teams are getting ready, drawing their strategies up, and Sleepy, I mean, who's going to win and why is it Mayhem? Because I feel like Mayhem always seems to squeak on by against Globochem on Quarantine. It is one of Globo's better maps, but
Yeah.
I feel like Mayhem just has... they have their number. Every time we've had a cast of a Globochem Mayhem match, which is I think every time they've played, they have had just an absolutely fantastic answer to every Globochem offense and defense. I don't think the rounds were ever lopsided. I don't think we ever saw like a 5-0 kill count on any round. And they just have these really fantastic plays. They're a scary team to play on Quarantine. What are your thoughts on why that is?
I just think it's because Mayhem's putting in the work. I've said it a lot lately. But I'll keep saying it for teams that don't want to listen to me because they think I don't know what I'm talking about. Team cohesion is a big deal, and the Mayhem guys do a lot of stuff together and not just play Onward. Like, they play other games, they're hanging out outside of Onward, so they're doing more than just building a camaraderie inside of this game. They're taking it outside of that and becoming more, just like Globochem. I mean, Globochem has that same dynamic. They are a very close squad. Now, of course, some of their newer members won't be, as much a factor in that, but yeah, I mean, it's like, that stuff matters. Team cohesion matters. So just picking up any random old guy who's got a crappy attitude and thinks he's the star of the show, he's not going to be good for your team and is not going to make your team better.
That is true. A bunch of pre-fire coming out here. Monarchid's going to try to make this cross happen. We'll see if he's able to do it as two members of Globochem are sending rounds down through the smoke, and it looks like he is successfully going to make that cross. Dropping the smoke, and now he will be the man in the south. The only man in the south here.
Looks like Thunderpilot did catch it, though. He did call it out, telling his team that he made it. Yeah, he's repeating that information now, so... they're pretty much locked in on knowing where he is, so they're going to take that into account as they continue their push up.
Kind of where you go, almost. I couldn't see him, though, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, Thunderpilot also calling out that long east position. One of the members of Mayhem, the Sniper Rock, sort of next to the tunnels. Tunnel Rock? I don't know what to call it. I don't think it has a call out yet. We don't use it often enough, that's why it doesn't have a call out. Thunderpilot opting to rotate back now as we see, and we'll kind of zoom on over here to the north, which is where the entirety of the Globochem offense so far has set up. They have opted to take the northern approach for this objective. Not a bad call. You definitely want to own the rooftop when you initially want to make this push, because there's just so much rotation that has to happen by the defense. A little bit of sniper fire coming out here from Mike Crook. He's looking for that long position. Yeah, he does call out that there is one there, but no shots landed, so he is just opting to check a few other common positions. And I love seeing that mix. Here's the gunshots and immediately goes for tablet. He goes to check and see, has anybody gone down to that? And have we lost anybody yet? It's that kind of discipline that you see from a lot of these top tier teams, is just being aware all the time of where your teammates are, where that gunfire is coming from, who it's going towards. I mean, all that stuff is so important when you're doing these kinds of high-tier matchups. Want to be as prepared as possible as the rest of the offense gets set up here. There is one defender looking in that direction, as James Boak from the objective itself, looking out towards the north. No one's opted to make that cross yet. It's almost as if they know there's going to be someone watching that lane. They've opted to go the relatively safer route here, which is the tow trucks. This is the approach we're seeing a lot of teams doing this season. Sort of like the least sight lines that the defense can get is into this open area.
Which is crazy because it's such an open area.
Pop into Mike Crook's view here as he continues to scan around for any defenders. He's not going to find any.
On windmill, but it could be behind
They're just slow creeping. Everybody's crouched. Everyone's low, taking their time. The south is finally getting set up. They did end up sending 2 into the south. Oh, that's not the camera I wanted to jump to. Quiet on the field here until the pre-fire comes out. More preventative than anything. Auto now going to be setting up the south smoke here for the cross. And the pre-fire comes out on one side as James Bogue does find one on that north peak.
Yeah, he really obliterated Mixologist there with bullets.
Auto setting up a nice series of smokes here. Going to try to cross on the back side of this hill. And he is going to make it.
Walked into a grenade there from Beat Bob.
And now Auto's on the backside, and this is so dangerous for the defense if they don't catch this rotation in time. Lots of gunfire coming out near the objective. They have identified the north cross. Potato Bot not able to find the pick.
Well, Mayhem have a little trick up their sleeve of their own for Auto being on the backside. And Technic's push, or Mike Crook's push. You just gotta find it.
Just tuck in. One cross northeast.
Now the suppressive fire coming out onto East HQ. It's enough to give Monarchy the information to find the kill onto Thunder Pilot. Auto and Technic will meet, and Auto will come out on the top side of that. Potato Bot finds Beep Boop Bob as well in the north, and now it is 1 north, 1 south for the offense. Mayhem looking pretty dang good here on their defense as Auto starts peeking this highway hill here.
Not even sure how they saw Technics parked up back there.
Oh, and Mike Crook will be the one to find the first pick on the objective as Monarchid answers back quickly with a refrag onto Auto, and now it's a 1v3 here as Mike Crook scrambles to find the pick. He finds the headshot on one, and he needs 2 more to try to secure this for Globochem. Otherwise, Mayhem will come out on top. Oh, he's got 10 seconds, yeah.
No time. Sorry, Mike, that's why you don't stay that far back.
No time. The rotation, there's just so many heavy rotations into different directions. They had 4 up in the north, and they had to send 2 down south, so Thunder Pilot joined Auto in the south, and Mike Crook opting for that long sniper rotation, but just nothing getting set up in time. And Mayhem is going to come away with their first defensive win of the series so far, and the first of this map as well. A great defensive play, exactly the kind of stuff I was talking about. They just have the sort of wherewithal on Quarantine to be able to cover all of these different rotations and understand where everybody is, when to peek, how often to peek. They've just got it really down pat, and you can see it there in action as Monarchid and James Bogue picking up 2 kills apiece for their team.
Yeah, you know, for me, and I don't know what it was. Maybe Globochem's trying some strategies out here, you know, against some of these teams to try and change things up in case people are picking up on their old strats. But that's the first time I've ever watched a Globochem Marsoc round and just thought, what was that? Like, that play didn't make sense to me, really. And that's not something I find myself asking when it comes to Globochem. It just didn't really seem like there was anything set up. They seemed a bit indecisive. Like you said, there were like some rotations up to the north, and they rotated back, then they moved around, then they did this. Then Mike ends up all the way on the backside, and he's too far away to run. It's like, it just, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was Mayhem holding them back. It really didn't seem like it, because Mayhem was pretty well tucked in for most of that round. So, I don't know, it just seemed like there was a lot of time waste in that last round for Globochem, and you know, it happens to everyone, but it was the first time I found myself actually thinking, like, what is going on with this attack right now?
Yeah, it was definitely a bit disjointed. It is important to note Mike Crook and Beep Boop Bob, both relatively new additions to the Globochem roster, so it does take a little bit of acclimation. I mean, probably about a season's worth of gameplay to really get the feel for your teammates, and you'll see Globochem sending quite a bit of smoke down. It's not going to matter because Potato Bot finds his first pick quickly and easily onto Auto on that north street as he just tries to go for Motel. What a nice, fantastic, not just nice, a fantastic shot by Potato Bot to get that initial pick.
And a headshot at that.
Oh, I cannot snap to the camera I am looking for ever, Sleepy. Today is not my camera day, let me tell you.
I hope it's not my camera, because I will admit I've been a little bad about it.
We'll talk about that after, Sleepy. We'll talk about how you failed me after.
I'm in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Please send help.
You have failed me for the last time, Sleepy.
I'm sorry, Papa.
A little bit more preventative fire coming out towards the motel there from James Boak. Not gonna find any because Otto was the man intended to be in that window, and he gone.
Yeah. Technic is asking for his team to give him confirmation as to whether or not the guy who was killed had a sniper rifle, because that would help his situation. But I think he just found out his answer as Mike Crook answers from the plane wing. Or actually, not even the plane
South
wing.
Hills,
South
yeah.
Dunes,
He's
yeah.
in the South Hills looking out towards that position. He's going to find his first pick for the defense here as they even things out to a 4-4. Now the South is going to be so dangerous, and Globochem's going to know that. Are they going to opt... I'm sorry, Mayhem's going to know that. Are they going to opt to rotate to the north with their buddies up there in the north, or are they going to try to unseat Mike Crook for this position? That's a
Technic's going for the unseat onto Mike Crook.
I'm getting drone right now.
tall order. He's looking for the drone. See how good your sniper skills are, Mike. Can he
Not
find
so
the
good when
drone?
the target's moving that fast.
Oh, there he goes. He's got it. Somebody got it. I don't know if he got it, but somebody got it.
I didn't hear anyone else shoot, so I'm assuming he did.
Fantastic shooting, Mike. You've proven us all to be non-believers.
I mean, he took like 15 shots, so he's bound to hit it eventually. But yeah, I mean, definitely better than I could do with that 12x shooting at a drone.
So Technic now relaying to his team captain, hey man, this is dangerous. That's the long and short of the discussion they just had. I could peek him, but man, is he going to be able to spot me out quick. Beep Boop Bob finds Wookiee in the north on the cross. And that is just the one pick, as another one does make it across in the smoke.
I think there's two over behind the motel.
Yeah, the call out does come out. He doesn't know he got him, I don't think. So the kill must have been in the smoke, as he sends a few more confirmation rounds down in there. Now James here in a really exposed position. Had Mike Crook still been on that hill, he could have been in danger here. But Mike is sort of tucked in on the defense now, allowing James to push up here to the post office wall. Could be a very nice little approach here. This is, I mean, you really want somebody on this post office wall when that final push comes, because this is the only position that can get smokes on objective quickly and easily. And as I say that, Mike Crook now scans over. He's rotated back. He's got Thunder Pilot's sightline committed as well.
James saw him. I think James might have spotted him over there.
He's definitely looking for him, but they're looking for him, and they know exactly where he is. You can see that laser's on him. Is he going to find the back of him? He's going to opt for the call out instead. That's a good team player right there. He calls him out, and then he kills him. Take note, teams. That's how you do it. You don't take your shots until you tell your team what you're doing. Fantastic shot there. Mike Crook definitely holding down that south side quite well. The approach nigh on impossible with what they've got left now. Mixologist and Beep Boop Bob continue to sort of scan around the outside. They've got, Am's got one member, Technic, laying down there in the burning rubble. I think he's just trying to get a line onto Mike.
Yeah, he's trying to find any abstract angle possible to find Mike, but he's just not going to find him. Now Mike's rotating away from that corner. He's going back towards his team. It's a minute and a half left, and Mayhem's got one person in position to strike. Now that person, you know, Monarch is in a pretty good spot. He might actually be able to catch Beep Boop Bob on a peek.
Yeah, the communication's coming out. He's got to have to push now. Technic's on the backside here. Monarch has got his first set of smokes out, but that really does nothing except for tell the defense where to point their many lasers. As they send rounds toward him, Beep Boop Bob is going to be the one that finds the pick there, and that leaves Technic all by his lonesome here with 50 seconds left on the clock.
Now, I'm not saying I don't believe in Technic, but to win these gunfights with a 12x as the last man is very unlikely. And as I say that, Thunder Pilot finds Technic, and Globochem secure their bulk round point here on Quarantine, and we tie things up 1-1.
1-1 indeed. A great Globochem defense there, sitting on the back of some fantastic sniper work there by Mike Crook in the South Hills. And Mayhem really just, I feel like that never got off the ground, you know? I feel like their offense really never started.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, it took them a while to kind of get out of the spawn area again, which I found a little odd. Technic was kind of waiting back in the wings. I don't know if he was waiting for them to try and find Mike Crook first and take him down, so that he could get into a position that he wouldn't be at risk of taking a sniper round to the face. But there's a lot of holdback on that team from that round, and it's not looking... It's just not looking as together as I would have thought it would be here on Quarantine, as Mayhem typically play a very solid Quarantine map.
Yeah, I think that early pick from the South Hills kind of frazzled them. They kept sort of trying to challenge it in weird ways. It's almost better to, like, especially if you got a sniper rifle, to rotate up to rooftop and try to get that, you know, try to make them both very difficult long-range picks, because when he's set up like that and he knows you're in the south, and you know he knows you're in the south, it's so tough to challenge these seasoned snipers on those paths. You got to find a different way to approach, but they continued to commit to that center push. It really wasn't going to happen. And yeah, they got sort of dismantled slowly from that point forward. But we'll see if their defensive round here picks back up, and if Mayhem can continue their Volk streak of 1 currently.
Zing!
Yeah, I got him. Totally roasted. Sorry for the sick burn, Mayhem, on your on your streak. The defense now kicking off here. They are going to be defending the wireframe garage, or village garage, or Volt garage, whatever you want to call it, objective here in the west. And Globochem is going to be getting this north spawn, so Monarchid is going to have his hands full as 4 members of Globochem rush the hill, where he's pushing up to Beep Boo Bob, the first to challenge, and he finds the headshot. Easy pick there for him.
Looks like Monarchid's looking, or Potato Bot's looking at Beep Boo Bob's position there on the hill, but he lost him as he transferred up to the rooftop, but it looks like he is still trying to find that pick, and that is a tiny little angle.
Yeah.
Does give a good call out to the team, though the rotation will come out from the defense, so he won't be there for very long.
2 members of Globochem in the west, 2 in mid-north, and 1 in the far east. An interesting flank. We'll see if he's actually able to get across there. Take a look at the overhead map. You see what I'm talking about. He's on the corner of Motel. Burning Rebel might have a line on him as Wookiee sits in that position. Beep Boo Bob sends some rounds towards Potato Bot. It's like he's aware of that position quite early on.
Which one is he in, Beep Boo? The left one or the right one?
I wonder if he's aware, or if that's just a typical position for Mayhem and we've not picked up on it, and Globochem has.
They must have, because they knew about it. They send rounds his way, and Potato Bot's not going to challenge from that position again. Looks like he's opted to watch the northwest instead. They do now have 2 in the east. Globochem has set up Auto and Thunder Pilot there in East HQ and Motel, respectively. And the quiet before the storm as everybody tries to find...
Yeah, everyone's just jostling into position right now. Globochem's just doing their thing. They're using their time that they have to get their people in position to hopefully launch a coordinated strike, but they've got to speed up the rotation off the south. I know Otto's doing his typical southeast rotation here, going across the road. Now we've got Thunder Pilot in the in the tank courtyard, and then the rest of the team kind of spread out to start encircling the noose around the neck of Mayhem as they close in. But pacing just needs to come up just a little bit for me. Not that they can't do it; they still have time. 3.5 minutes, still plenty of time here. But yeah, for me, I would like to see teams closer to an objective strike by this point in a round than this. But play your game your way. It's your team.
Indeed, Mixologist has to tuck in a little bit there from fire, and James Boak sending a little bit down towards the white car. I'm gonna sort of... And Mike Kirk was the one looking for that shot, not gonna find it. The offense slowly constricting around. You got Thunder Pilot here in this key position. If he can find this pick onto Wookiee, he's going to really open things up in the center, and I know he's looking for him. He's got the laser trained.
Yeah, I'll wait for you to get him, and then we'll move in.
And there it is. You can hear the conversation. They're just waiting for him to get picked off from the roof. As Beep Boop Bob is now looking for a line on him here. Oh, he doesn't quite see him. Can you? Yeah, you'd have to really be on the edge of the roof, though. Such a dangerous spot to try to snipe from. You want to keep as much cover as possible.
Now Otto's going to be trying for a look from the ambulance approach. He's not going to have an angle on anything just yet either, but if he walks up this hill, he might be able to find Wookiee on a... Oh, but the 203 comes out, and that is something I've seen Otto use from this exact position before, and he does. He manages to take down Wookiee, but he is not out, so he will still be able to call in these approaching enemies. Now that was risky.
James with the botched frag there, not quite able to toss it up and over. He wanted to get it, I assume, out into the tank courtyard there.
Don't you go for that foolish res, James.
Now the push is starting to come in. We're seeing Beep Boop Bob making the push onto the defense, but Potato Bot does find it. As Technic tries to confirm. More shots coming off a rooftop, and Potato Bot finds Mixologist on a nice little refrag there, evening things up to a 3v3.
James has got to be careful. He's doing a lot of movement. It looked like Otto had the look on him there for a second, but here comes Otto now. He's pushing up. He's going to be going for the front of the plane. He's going to try and hop the wall, and James Boak with a beautiful grenade catches Thunder Pilot at the red car. Otto's on rotation. He's looking for something. Mike Crook going to find Potato Bot in the meantime. Now here comes Otto. Will James pop up at the right time, or will Otto be waiting for it? Otto's looking right where he's standing, and he finds it. And the confirm onto Wookiee. And he opens this center up for Globochem, and now it's all up to Technic, who is on the objective with 2.5 members of Globochem closing in.
He tosses the nade out, not gonna go where he wants it to go, as the remaining members of Globochem push through at 35 seconds remaining. Technic's got his work cut out for him. He's got enough ammo in the gun. Does he have the wherewithal to catch all of these members of Globochem? And no, Thunder Pilot finds the initial peak, gets the kill, and Globochem will find their MARSOC win here in round 3.
Yeah, it was a good play. Technic really had no chance there, to be honest, unless he would have found Mike Crook on the push on the northern side of that courtyard first, and that alleviated that pressure. He wasn't ready for a 3-pronged attack at once, which is exactly what Globochem were doing. I mean, Thunder was holding back using the elevation from the center burning building to gain a little bit of a height advantage and see into that courtyard, but you know, I really just don't see a way that Technic would have come out of that one without just some sort of miracle play happening.
Hey, we've had our share of miracle plays in the league, and I wouldn't put it past Mayhem to have some of those up their sleeve, but not this time. They are able to plow past the Mayhem defense and get themselves a point here. No caps have come out yet from either side. Worth noting, very difficult teams to cap on when you're playing against them as any other team, but of course playing each other, not surprising to not see too many cap attempts. We'll see if Mayhem here can pull something out on the MARSOC side. Otherwise, a very good chance that Globochem's going to run away with map 2 and take the series. But as we all know and love, we want to see our third map decider, so we'll see if Mayhem has something up their sleeve. As they usually do. I think almost all of their quarantine wins, I think at least the last one I casted was a come from behind victory on quarantine. So we'll see if they can pull something like that out again as we get ourselves into round 4. Oh, never mind. It's going to be a round reset, so you can go ahead and just ignore that round start.
Just said.
Yeah, just ignore the whole thing. No reason to listen to anything the caster says, because it's like it didn't happen. Round resets also work for casters.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could just say, oh, nope, we're not ready for your next round yet.
Yep.
Stop it.
Back.
Hold on, I joined the wrong team as a caster. I need to swap sides. Put on the wrong helmet, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, the Globochem defense underway now. Did not mean to zoom in.
Spot for that north spawn. Get it.
We'll see what Mayhem does with their center spawn. No mirrored spawn this time around. They will have to push people across the streets, and they do manage to get 2 across in the north, 1 in the south. Shots coming
No,
out
the
from
middle
Mike
spawn.
Crook.
I'm gonna run the fucking rooftop. I think I can beat him.
Because of course.
Some naughty words coming out from Mike Crook there as he opts to rotate to the north and challenge the 2 members of the offense as they push out to that side. And this is a key rotation here. They need to try to secure this north. If they lose the north, it's going to be a very tough time defending this. We saw what happened when Globochem had the north on their side in that last push, and now Thunder Pilot is here on the corner trying to stop that same thing from happening while on defense.
Yeah, another problem is, though, that if Globochem loses the north, it means they've more than likely lost both of these 2 players, which isn't going to be good to not only lose control of the north, but to be down 2 men, possibly even more. Well, not necessarily. It could be less, could be more, could be none.
It could be none, Sleepy. Thank you.
A lot of great insight coming out from Sleepy today, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for him.
Really top-notch work. Speaking of top-notch work, Technic looking to make some top-notch work of a defender here on rooftop as he's got his scope scanning the sight lines here. If Thunder Pilot's not careful, he could be on the receiving end of one of those bullets. But Thunder has opted to continue rotating here between the corners. They haven't spotted anybody in the north, and that's because they've opted to go sort of for a middling approach here in the north, not pushing the extreme north wall. And that is the right choice here based on this defensive setup so far.
Not a lot of action really happening for half the round to have been consumed. I think the only couple of actual bullets shot were from Mike Crook earlier on in the round as Mayhem guys made their push north. But since then, all has been quiet. Not too much going on. Mayhem slowly making their way up, but also being quite careful. Wookie makes it across from Thunder Pilot's point of view. But now they know he's there under the plane wing. Looks like Monor's going to go for the rooftop, and he definitely heard Mike pushing up. Now he's going to be securing the roof. There he is. He sees Mike. He doesn't, does he? He does. He gets Mike Crook off the roof, and there's the sniper down. That should help Mayhem out a lot, especially on those long looks. Technic should be free and clear to not have to worry about a sniper anymore. Thunder Pilot's now rotating back west. I bet he's going to go for the wireframe building and try and use it. No, that was weird. Why would he run left to turn, or run right to turn left?
Wide
Whatever.
turns. Thunder Pilot is a big fat guy. He likes those wide turns.
Thunder Pilot, the 18-wheeler. This truck makes wide left turns. I know it's right turns than real trucks, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just makes wide turns in general. No, Thunder Pilot is very fit. He's a fit esports player.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I don't slander
fact-
anyone's name here on cast.
Matter of fact, that dude would go running before the ESL games in Leicester. Like, he would go, like, jogging up and down the street to, like, get the blood flowing and the adrenaline going. Apparently, that works because Thunder Pilot finds a kill onto Wookie and all that mayhem. Get it, mayhem? But meanwhile, things just evening out here. You know, 4v4. Things still could go either way in this round.
Yeah, Monarch just looking for those rotation picks. He misses one on Thunder Pilot as he pushes through to the Vogue Towers. Beep Boop Bob and Technic will trade out. But Bob is on the better side of that trade as he is still downed and resable, though a rotation for a res could spell disaster for the Globochem defense here.
Oh, it absolutely would, because that door is watched. It doesn't matter what angle they approach from, they're basically going to get murked going through there. Potato Bot actually holding that down. But now it seems Mixologist wants to have a little fun, and he's shooting from the crater over by the Volt gas station.
That was a nice little attempt there, but the shots do not land. Thunder Pilot sending a few down towards Monarch on the roof.
Unit, left side of roof.
Mix still looking for Potato Bot. Potato Bot not really happy with that angle. He's not going to re-peek from that same spot.
Little bit more trading fire here as Thunder Pilot continues to suppress that AC unit. Monarchid on his own, sending a few rounds down. Try to keep him from getting into that burning building. That is what the offense wants right now. Monarchid's got a sort of a long retreat there. So we're gonna opt to check in on the center push as the three members of Mayhem start making their way through. I wonder what Bob is able to see from his down position there. Players do get a chance to look around while down and give out some information, and it's just enough to help Mix get a pick onto James as he pushes across, and Mix will find another as Potato Bot does not suppress long enough on his push across.
He's got plenty of sightline. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Beep Boop Bob can see just about everything going on around him on the center building, so not really too surprised that those picks came out, though they did also cross through Mix's line of sight. But Globochem are going to win because Mayhem will run out of time, and, well, not even I noticed that. And, of course, right now is when he picks up the kill that might have cleared the objective for a win there. But, you know, hindsight 2020, and Globochem goes up 3-1 here on map number 2.
That is correct, Sleepy, and I think Mayhem needed that win on that, right? You know what I mean? Like, I think this might be the slow decline. Globochem will come into this with a very dense lead. They can play around with this a little bit. They can take their time, and if they get this Marsoc win, that's the series right there. But I don't know. I mean, Mayhem is tough to count out. They're not really playing at top form right now, and
yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
I'm not sure exactly what it is. They're playing well. It's just not at the peak that I've seen them play. And I think a big thing to note here, a missing player from the roster is Defilade. Defilade was a very big, sort of heavy hitter for the Mayhem side, especially with the long range, you know, quarantine plays. I believe he was in the match versus Globochem last time, and he made quite a bit of difference there. And we're not seeing him here. I wonder if that is making an impact of some sort, but all speculation so far as I know, which is not much, trust me. And we are now getting ourselves into our 5th round.
That's right, and this one could be kind of a quick one. This is an objective that some teams like to go smash and dash for. I doubt that's what we'll see here from Globochem, but it's always a possibility.
Yeah, we'll see what they opt for as Globochem gets the north spawn. They are already scanning this courtyard. They sent 3 to the north. And this objective, more than any other, I think, in this, maybe aside from rooftop courtyard objective, requires control of the north to try to get like a cap attempt or even get anybody sort of in close.
It's also just nice to have that person on the roof to give like Overwatch callouts. In case you've got a man going to cap and you see someone running up to stop the cap, you can call that out, and your player on the field down there.
Ooh, beep boop bop primes a nade. Ah, a little too far, a little undercooked.
Oh, Wookie's gonna go for the C4, and he's gonna get himself Beep Boop Bob and Monarchid all in one fell swoop.
I mean, success? Hard to say with what the intended play of that C4 was. I think he just didn't quite toss it far enough.
No, he didn't toss it at all. It was still in his chest. He exploded.
The suicide play. Thunder Pilot does confirm 2 members of the defense, and Bob will now be revived. And just like that, 2 are out.
And Mike Crook's now going to go on the roof and snipe the remaining members of Mayhem.
Yeah, that is a definite possibility. As Technic, the resident Mayhem sniper, is sort of tucked in on OBJ. Not the best use of his talents, I don't think.
Well, I mean, where else? The only other places you can put him would be way too far off the objective. So if, you know, the rest of the team went down, there's too much risk.
I suppose. Still, it's hard to... I'm not going to say bench a player. He's still playing. But to sort of curb a long-range player like that on a long-range map by sticking him into a corner.
5 food.
on the OBJ. Like, I don't know. I would never put my heaviest hitter on the objective. I would usually keep them a little bit, yep. That's why my team's not number 1. So who knows? or number 9. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just sort of my feeling about it. You have a long range player, you sort of want him to exercise that muscle, but
just stretch his legs.
Yeah, exactly. I would want him to be the one challenging rooftop and trying to get that angle. But Globochem, not having to worry about that, are able to get folks in the east here as we see Thunderpilot and Bob getting set up. They've got 2 in the south as well. Technic still might be able to utilize some of that long-range play as he's watching that south cross, and now we're seeing
One cross south.
the south cross from Otto. He does find the call out there. Otto scanning for the pick. He does find Technic as he makes that push across.
I think Technic was having some tracking issues there, because I was watching Technic's laser and he kept shaking his gun. I feel like his tracking might have been walking off on him there because he was laying prone. Maybe his sensors don't pick up his controllers very well. So that would be unfortunate if that's how it happened, but either way, Otto does find that kill, and now Globochem is pushing their way in. James Boak makes his way across, just barely staying away from Mike Crook's shots, but here it is. He's down. He's using the pistol, and Zatobot gonna run in and stop that, but it's not gonna matter. Here comes the push around the corner, and there it is. Globochem take the kill. They take the map with a commanding 4-1 victory.
Yeah, great play there by Globochem. Top form at the end of that map as they're able to basically shut down the Mayhem offenses and defenses on both sides. Mayhem only able to find the one.
Yeah, it's been a rough go of it for Mayhem. And I mean, like we said just last round, you know, they're not playing bad. They're playing still well. Like against other teams, they'd be out front of winning, you know, many more of these rounds and probably even winning the series at the moment. But, you know, you just can't have an off day when it comes to playing Globochem, because it is so rare, if ever, that they have an off day to the point where they're giving up a win to really anybody. So having an off day coincide with the day that you play Globochem is never what you want, but
No, it is not what you want, and that is what they get, though, because Bazaar is their third map, and they're gonna have to find a way to come back. They need a map, you know. I just want them to get a map here. Globochem has taken the series with an 8-3 score line altogether.
They should play Bizargo then, because SEAL Team Bravo swept Globochem yesterday in the custom maps on Bizargo, aka Dry Run. I call it Bizargo because it feels like Bizarre V2, except with cargo containers in it. So it's like cargo mixed with Bizarre.
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it early on. Thank you.
or Carzar. That's the other one that we're
oh, jeez.
focus grouping. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was.
Okay. Well, it is the final map if you've just tuned in. Globochem and Mayhem here is the matchup, and Globochem have taken the series, but we are playing the third map for that sweet, sweet MMR juice that both teams want. Mayhem trying to soften the blow. Not a big blow, regardless, but still, they would like a little bit of points to end the series, and maybe a map. You always want to come away at 2-1 just feels like a better loss, you know?
Yeah, I think I just got booted. I think they booted a caster.
Wow, they do not want you in this house. It's probably that Bizargo joke that you mansplained it to me, and now.
Well, this is interesting. My mouse has just completely disappeared from Onward. So I'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. No, you're going to have to go to the first round on your own, sir.
Yeah, that is all right. We are going to have to do something here to make sure we have the right teams set. Apologies there for the small technical hiccup. But we plow forward because round 1 of map 3 is underway.
Fuck, I dropped my C4.
Globochem is on the defense, and colorful languages. Globochem botches their C4 right off the bat. The call out coming in, it is east spawn, as Auto identifies that positioning.
Crossing on South Street towards tank area.
A little bit of fire coming out, just everybody checking their angles, everybody checking the common spots for these pushes. Mayhem opting for a pretty spread out offense off the bat, and Wookie will be the one to try to cross here in the smoke as the pre-fire from Auto coming out. trying to deny that exact thing from happening. Nerves a steal there by Wookiee as he continues across. Auto gives up on the angle, but it's not going to matter because Thunder Pilot will be able to pick up the slack as he finds the push from Wookiee at the tank. Wookiee, our resident caster, he's not having a great day in terms of Onward play. I will say that. Mike Crook finds the fantastic headshot onto Mono. I mean, this angle is just, look at this. This is such a small little angle to try to find a pick, but he does manage to do it, and just like that, Mayhem is down to 4. Potato Bot Technic here inside center courtyard, and James on that western flank. I'm showing 4 up, but it is actually 3. I apologize. Wookiee also went down there, so it is just 3 versus 5. And it is these 3 as they try to make their push through the center. I mean, so far, it actually would not be that bad. The rotations required from Globochem to get back to the objective if the center defenders go down is pretty massive. Otto and Bob are really the 2 sort of holding it down, but as I say that, Thunder finds a fantastic angle onto Technic there. The confirmed shots do come out. Potato Bot sort of powerless to do anything to stop it. Now the rotation is out and Thunder Pilot has left, but Potato Bot continues to watch this angle. Will Mike Crook be able to spot him here? Thunder Pilot sending a few more shots in. Potato's just so pinned. Mike Crook is now across. He's going for what looks like a long flank here. Shots from Mixologist onto James's position. I'm sorry, Beep Boop Bob onto James's position will find nothing. Potato, though, does eventually get Thunder Pilot in that position, and Auto will be the one that silences Potato Bot permanently, leaving just James. Tune in this week as we pilot our new show, Just James. It's just James. That's all it is. There's no plot. There's no nothing. It's just James running around. James V4, as he is the last member of Mayhem, only Thunder Pilot having gone down for the Globochem side. And he's got quite a bit of work cut out for him. He's got Mix here tucked in on the inside. Bob upstairs, though not peeking. Probably a safe bet at this point. He's going to have to find Mix. Mix is the sort of the main struggle here. The other problem would be the scaffolding position that you can see there, taken up by what I can only imagine is Mike. And James is opting for a quicker rotation. He's not going to be expecting Mix in this spot. I don't think. I mean, he should, but he's not going to expect him here. As the clock ticks down to 2 minutes. Oh, and I forgot my lasers weren't on. Oh, I'll bet the Twitch chat was riled up about that. Don't worry, we've got your lasers here. Maybe a little too late, but you'll be fine. Mix here should be spotting James pretty quickly, and there it is. The headshot comes out. And Globochem very deftly secure their first round on defense here in Bazaar on map 3. Sleepy coming in with our theme song, our transition theme. Thanks, Sleepy, for the
You're welcome.
Are you able to find yourself back in the game?
Yes, I managed to finally secure a ticket over to the Middle East. I hired a taxi from the airport, and I have made it to the war-torn Bazaar.
Fantastic. Well, a good series there from Globochem, pretty much dominating the offensive push. I think James and Wookiee were the only ones to have almost crossed the middle street. That is how definitive that defense was. They didn't actually even allow them to their side of the map. So fantastic defense there from Globochem. Bazaar, one of those maps that they feel quite comfortable on. So no surprise there, and we'll see if Mayhem feels equally as comfortable on their defense coming up in round 2.
Round 2.
A good series so far, and I do want to thank everybody for tuning in for our Sunday night fights here on the VRML. We do appreciate you spending your time with us. I know it's a tumultuous time right now in the world in general, and I hope everybody's keeping safe, and we're glad to be able to bring you some stuff to you know, watch and participate in. Yeah, so we appreciate you guys spending your time with us. It does make a big difference to us, and hope it makes a big difference to you as well. If you really enjoy what you see here, please consider subscribing or, you know, donating or all that fun stuff. You know, we never explicitly ask for it, but hey, never hurts. Or actually, you know what? Donate to medical services, to hospitals, or, I mean, use your money there, honestly. It's probably better.
Yeah, especially during this time, I think that's definitely a better
you
better
can
thing.
You can do it on behalf of the VRML as a token, but other than that,
Sure.
Yeah, give your money to where it's most needed. You're right, casters don't need it. We'll be fine. We'll find our way. But stay inside, watch a bunch of Onward, play a bunch of Onward. You can go join on vrmasterleague.com/onward, and also check out the other suite of games that VRML has. But I am talking over the start of this first round. Don't worry, no action has happened yet, as the offense from Globochem has gotten set up. Thunderpilot with the shield there. It's the first shield we're going to see in quite some time, actually. I think the first since Cargo. Defense, still sort of unset, like a bad custard, sort of not entirely set up. A little bit of pre-fire there coming out from the offense into James's position, but he is unfazed. Waste your ammo on me, he says. Because I am watching the west, and that's my job, and no one can stop me from doing it. Thunderpilot now in the smoke here. We can see the shield, but James can't. And there's the sort of spray fire into the smoke.
They're crossing the raid.
Mixologist just waiting for James to get peeky here. Oh no, he rotated out. And they're not quite going far enough, and they will get 3 across here, it looks like. Yeah, I am so focused on this. We haven't even checked on the east as Mike Crook pushes through here on the east. And now if you take a look at the overhead, Globochem is in on... They did the exact opposite of what Mayhem was able to do. They got everybody across safely and soundly.
Yeah, but the problem is they've gotten no picks along the way just yet. So when things do come crashing down, it's going to be a 5 versus 5. And there's no guarantees in that, because each person technically has a man to cover their body. And, you know, if you just happen to be on the wrong end of the stick when it comes to all those chips falling, your 5v5 close push. See, Monor is going to grab the first kill, and there's already Globochem going down a man. Not that that's going to stop them from going for it or even being successful, but, you know, that's kind of the problem when it comes to being set and to attack the objective without getting any early round picks. Because then you're going to have to deal with the full force.
There is the pick from Mix onto Technic. I was watching that because I knew it was going to happen. Technic was not ready for that southern push. Mike Crook will find Mono.
Refrag data.
Just lost mono.
Oh, Theta is in.
Now they're Mike Crook's.
Fuck, Theta.
Theta's mic is pretty loud, but they are able to hear each other as they call each other out to their respective teams. Thunderpilot, Mix, and Beep Boop Bob all pushing it onto the objective. Potato Bot here is going to find the first pick. He's looking for Thunderpilot, but he does turn the shield just in time. Mixologist is going to be the one looking to find this pick on the inside. He's going to rush the shield. Not a great choice. Actually, you know what? It was a fantastic choice. He does find the down. James Boak finds another, and Mixologist will start to even things out as he finds Theta inside of the blue room. Now it's a 2v1 here as Potato Bot takes Thunderpilot off of the res menu, and now Potato Bot looking for Mixologist here on the opposite side of this building. Mix is being patient.
Yeah, he knows he has to. If he's the one who's patient and they come chasing him, there's a better chance that he's going to be the one to come out on top. If he goes in running after them, they're going to be able to set, plant, and ready for him. But if they go chasing him, he's going to have all the opportunity, because he could lead them down a path and put them in a choke point and just light them up as they pop a corner.
This is so easy for Mix right now because they're both talking the whole time. He knows exactly where both of these are. He just needs to find the right angle onto him. James Ooh, just peeks the window. Mix finds the pick, but he does get the refrag. James does get the refrag as well, and Mayhem will find themselves another round win here. Their first in 4 since quarantine.
Yeah, they've definitely been having some troubles with their defense today. That is not been good. I mean, those are the rounds that you kind of bank on, right? Like, you kind of put a lot of your trust in your Volk rounds because you don't typically think that those are the rounds that you're going to lose, but Mayhem has been having trouble converting those Volk rounds, and it has led, unfortunately, to the larger score spreads that we've seen. And it's odd as well because you don't typically find a team who's like, if they're not executing on defense, normally they're not executing on offense either, but today it's been exactly the opposite. Even though they can't convert on defense, they're able to get the points on offense, which is just kind of mind-boggling to me.
It has been an interesting series for sure. Mayhem has been basically, just battling from behind most of the game, and it's just such a tough mindset to get on when you're constantly having to sort of claw your way out of a bad situation. It's hard to make, good informed decisions when you've got that much pressure. The third map is usually a little bit simpler for the team that has already lost the series because there is no pressure. You find a lot of teams will sort of hit their stride in that third map because they're not thinking about, oh, we're going to win or lose. They're actually focusing on the round itself rather than the overarching implications of everything they do, and I think that's helping out a little bit here. But round 3 is underway, so we're going to see exactly how well these teams do now that the pressure is sort of off. I don't think Globochem isn't feeling pressure. I think they push themselves to try to win every round, every time. But for Mayhem, it should loosen things up a little bit, and we'll see if they can find themselves a Marsoc win here.
Grease the old wheels, maybe? A little bit of blood from grease the wheels?
Yeah, blood, the universal grease.
Blue 3, blue 3.
Mixologist is going to find the early pick on the potato bot in the blue room there, and a nice little early peek.
One in blue 3. Did we lose somebody? Yeah, we did.
Theta there, just realizing they lost
We did lose
somebody.
I don't know who.
Not Mono, not Theta.
Technic finds a nice shot there.
And that's the one he wants to shoot, too. You know he wants Mike. As a fellow long-range shooter, you know he's going to be the one
I killed
to
Mike.
pick out Mike.
He was on northwest corner roof.
He knows he killed him too. That's he called him out by name. But
Yeah, I know.
he was able to kill him.
I think that's one. I think so. I believe -1, blue 1.
That is incorrect. Theta did not find the pick there. Auto was able to rotate out. It's those auto drops, those Globo drops, man. They go down and out so quickly when they don't want to get shot. You think that they are definitely dead. Now he's going to see he didn't spot him out, and he's not ready for Auto to make the repeak. A great play there. And the kind of read. Oh, my goodness. Auto does it twice. The play so nice, he does it twice.
And then he grabs another one.
Oh, that's just the confirm. He gets the Theta confirm.
Back to where Mike was.
Theta firm.
A fantastic play there from Auto to showcase how a little bit too much confidence can be a problem as well. Theta rushes that room to find it empty, and Auto able to capitalize on that refrag. Now Technic up in the north wall.
Thunder's down, blue 6 or 7.
Oh, that name call out was wrong, as Mix is the one that goes down to those bullets. The confirm does come out.
Right.
No, I didn't say it wrong. James said it wrong. I was in his view. I don't get things wrong, Sleepy. I feel like you should know that about me by now. Beep Boop Bob does find the backside of Technic. I was worried he was just going to let him sort of crawl past nice and sneaky, but that smoke alerted him, and he was able to come back and get the pick. And now it's all up to James. James, the show that we've all been watching these last couple of rounds. Hashtag just James 2020.
Damn it.
I got it. Don't worry, Sleepy.
Wasn't worried. mad because you keep talking for me. See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Either Noman and I give really good balanced back and forth, or Noman just talks all the time.
Sometimes I like talking a lot, okay? I haven't cast in a while. It's been pent up. It's like it's built up inside of me.
I can actually hear the cobwebs in your mouth.
Gross. Thanks for that image that I'll never be able to get out of my head. That's gross. So gross.
At all tonight. Hey, all, if you didn't know, Noman hates spiders.
I don't hate them. Just, you know, they could be elsewhere. You know,
It's like me with bees. Like, I don't hate bees. I'm not scared of bees. But they could totally fuck off somewhere. Oh, I mean, mess off somewhere else.
Wow. Where is our moderator when we need him? That is a Sleepy Band, folks. You just watched Sleepy Band live on stream.
From his own cast.
Unreal. James shoots at an empty window. And if that's not just a good allegory for how Mayhem's game has been, is just shooting at an empty window. It's just James shooting at empty windows, and there's the return fire from Globochem. They know how to shoot at empty windows too, James.
I'm so sweaty right now because I feel so bad.
You should feel bad. That's your body telling you did something wrong. Considering how much I curse in my day-to-day life, it is a literal miracle that I'm not swearing all the time on stream.
I know. I'm surprised it took me this long to do it. At least with that word of all of them.
I know. That is the worst of the words. Well, it's like the third worst of the words. Oh, and Beep Boop Bob ready. That rotation by Jam. I mean, honestly, where would they not be ready for a rotation? Globochem does manage to find the final pick and secure their defensive win here, putting it back on Mayhem to try to play catch-up here in map 3. Well, a great series up until this point. It's been a little... I don't know, I feel like it's been a little one-sided on these bizarre rounds. Not quite as close as the quarantine round started off being. There was quite a bit of, you know, those sort of 1v2s and 1v1s at the end of each quarantine round, and to a lesser extent cargo as well. But in the Bazaar, yeah, definitely Globochem taking the commanding lead. Despite the fact Mayhem did grab their one round there, so I guess I can't say too commanding, but they've definitely controlled the pace here quite a bit. We'll see what they're able to do on an offensive round, and if Mayhem can continue to hold. They've been able to get their defensive rounds so far, so they need this one here to stay in the game.
Is that what happened to you guys in quarantine, North Road? Yes,
All right, Mayhem on the defense.
Funny how we lost that so quickly.
Don't look at me, dude. I fucked up my last
Language from these two. Language is the name of the cast today. All the players I'm catching swearing. It's a children's game, okay?
With guns.
It's with guns. It's a tactical military children's simulator.
Can we please not get Onward, like, attacked by all the Karens?
No, I'm sorry.
Moms out there. There's gonna be news media articles on it now. Onward is training our next generation of killers. Ah! Please, lady.
Yeah, Karen. Jeez.
Karen.
Fictional Karen. Stupid fictional Karen with her opinions.
She's gonna ask to see Dante's manager. But what she doesn't know is he is the manager.
He is the manager. A lot of pre-fire coming out from Otto's side here. Checking the common spots. Yeah, he's checking all of them. Every spot being checked by Otto here. He sends a bunch of pre-fire down into that courtyard, but no one's there to receive it. They don't want your stinking pre-fire, Otto. They're tucked in their positions. They're waiting for you to come in close. And close they will get, as Mixologist is already here in this north courtyard. Should I bring the top cam back? We haven't done a lot of top camming here. as we look at the overhead not map.
Yeah, I really enjoy that view, especially like when it comes to these corridored sections, because you can kind of watch the movement and the reactions happening, especially with the lasers on. I know a lot of other people don't like it because they might be watching on smaller screens on mobile or what have you, but to me it's a really nice thing to be able to do, is just go top down on it all and just watch the whole thing kind of unfold.
Yeah, it is very helpful on some of the, especially these technical maps where there's a lot of hallways and corridors and windows and stuff. It's so tough to be able to follow the action through. It is just sometimes nice to have the overhead. Potato Bot there, I think it was Potato, yeah, had to have been blowing that C4 a bit. If he just adds like a minute and 30 seconds to his C4s, he will kill Globochem every time. He has just been blowing them early all game long.
Yeah, they've all been kind of popped early. I mean, even Wookie, when he's thrown a couple, he's blown them early as well. I mean, the problem is with that, when you plant them so remotely and you can't see, you have to go by sound. And, well, as many people will point out right now, sound is not necessarily the most easy thing to decipher at the moment.
Yeah, definitely not. Globochem now getting into position here. You can see them all sort of stacked up in the northwest courtyard, and they're pushing in a pretty even way as Mike Crook takes the first contact there in the north, opting for a slightly simpler approach in the courtyard with the rest of his team. You can see like over the overhead map how this team is just like a perfect half circle here as they push in towards the objective and start clearing rooms.
2 or 3 on me.
Oh, it's going to be 5 on you, Potato Bot. As the rest of the Globochem offense pushes in, Mike Crook will trade out. Theta gets the refrag there, and these kills are going to be coming in quickly. This Potato Bot's going to have to deal with one. Thunderpilot does find the pick. Theta, though, does get another on the mix as he pushes that courtyard, has to tuck in from Bomb's bullets, and now it's a 3v3. The res available. You like that?
Yeah, I did. Especially since I've been watching a lot of Bob's Burgers lately.
Thunderpilot
getting to come in and go, bomb!
Getting the smoke set up on the objective. Monarchid's going to be great here for these call-outs. Beep Boop Bob does find Theta.
Ooh, James Boak barely makes it out alive as he pushes back into the objective building to save face. But no, Technic's going to run out, and he's going to find the backside. Otto's going to find him in the back. Now it's all up to James against 3 members of Globochem. 2 are going to be running the same direction. And James is going to get distracted by the...
James didn't kill him? How did he not kill Bob there? Crossing out in the open, he rotates to go find the kill. And just as he does, Thunderpilot is pushing through to the objective, and Globochem marches through to their offensive win here. Their 3rd point on this map. Their 11th overall.
Man, you're keeping track of that.
It's almost like I'm a caster, Sleepy. It's almost like it's my job. Almost. It's almost like that. It's not quite like that, but it is almost like that. A good series there. Not sure what... I mean, that defense wasn't necessarily bad. I think a little too reactive, if I had sort of, and that's been sort of a theme, is they've been quite reactive pretty much ever since Cargo, where they tuck in, and when they get moving, Mayhem has a chance, and I feel like they may want to explore, just, humble caster's opinion, may want to explore a more of a roaming kind of defense, like a stick and move kind of defense, and you kind of see it when Globochem gets on the field. They have that style. A good example was that first round, I believe, of Bazaar, where Thunderpilot was consistently rotating between 3 or 4 different buildings and trying to get different angles, and he kept finding picks from different spots. I think Mayhem could do with a bit of exploratory defense, but we'll see if any of that makes a difference, or if Globochem is just going to run away with it here as we're getting into our 3rd... I'm sorry, not our 3rd. Our 5th round here of Bazaar. Globo on the defense now.
Yeah, key out objective, not the easiest objective to defend. It looks like Globochem's going to push out a little bit, get a little aggressive here on their defense, come away from the objective a bit and try and catch him out early. There's really nothing wrong with that strategy. It actually tends to work out better than sitting close to the objective, because then, they've made it so close, and then there becomes so many entrance routes into the main Kiot building that catching them in close becomes a lot more difficult, because you either end up playing cat and mouse with someone inside, or chasing up and down stairwells and in and out of doorways, or they just sneak past you and cap from under your nose, and you don't even know they're there because everything is just so hectic and confusing.
It's so funny that, yeah, it's almost like Globochem did this on purpose. Look at the overhead map, and you can see they've got 3-3 and 2-2 on both sides of the map. No one covering the middle at all. Not one person looking into the center bazaar. It's like they knew that no one was going to come into the middle. Monarchid and Beep Boop Bob will trade out there. Monarchid getting the better end of that deal, but Thunderpilot will be ready for Theta's cross, and there it is.
Theta's dead.
Monarchid.
Theta's dead. Yeah, Theta's dead. That res is going to be very difficult to find, but James Boak does find Mike Crook here in the south courtyard. He is going to be able to get this res onto Potato Bot. Thunderpilot coming out to confirm Monarchid on that eastern side will stop the eastern approach entirely, and now the entire offense has to commit to this west push. It is a 3v3, however, as they have had some favorable trades. Otto, I think, able to call out Potato Bot's cross there. And now James is across as well, so he's going to help Mix try to cover this northern approach that Mayhem is most likely to do.
So -1 for mono, was it? Was that confirmed? Do you know?
Potato Bot now pushing across. Mixologist going to be hearing these footsteps.
Did he just give his captain the silent treatment? Did he answer James's question?
I think it was asking the defender or the offense in the south, the guy across the street.
Gotcha. I was like, damn, Potato Bot is not happy about being behind. He's now ignoring his captain, giving him the cold shoulder, but...
Now, Mayhem's not the cold shoulder type.
That's what I get for assuming. It makes a bad word out of you and me.
That is correct, and Mixologist here is going to have his work cut out for him, but James probably not going to be ready for this sort of off-meta spot that Mix is in.
Nope, definitely not. I mean, he's not even looked at the door yet, and, well, Potato Bot's going to be the first one to die instead.
Clicks the radio to give the information, and the trade comes out as James pushes the corner. James, I think, was as confused as I would have been. Like, wait, what?
I feel like he looked at Mix. He wanted 12 of them?
You got a kill? Wait, no, you're dead. Oh no, that's an enemy. That was James's internal monologue brought to you by me, as Otto does spot out the last remaining member of the Mayhem offense. Technic will have to rotate out. Otto now looking. Technic made the right call in the rotation here, but he's got to be a little quieter than he is, otherwise they will definitely know that he's rotated. There it is, Otto making the call out. Oh, is he going to rotate back into Otto's view? This could be so dangerous. Otto looking. Is he going to peek the stairs? No, he's going to rotate. You never know what Otto's going to do. That's the problem. Technic looking for him.
His name is Otto, but he's very much a manual player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As most have to be in VR. Thanks, Sleepy. A push up here. Otto should be hearing these footsteps. He's looking around. Very tense here.
5-speed seems very confused. He doesn't know where Technic is. Sorry, I don't know why I've not made that joke before on Otto.
Unreal. Otto's
Technic's gonna manage to sneak by the window, but he's not gonna make it out the front door. So,
the shots confuse Otto just in time. He's looking back the other way. Technic finds one. He looks for Otto. He doesn't find him, but he does down Thunderpilot.
Dang, if he would have turned and burned both of those, that would have been a heck of a clip there for Technic.
Oh, like that? Turn and burn like that? Otto finding the final kill and closing out the series here with that defensive kill and a nice point going their way, and the entire series going the way of Globochem here. 3-0 is the final map count.
Yeah, I think Mayhem managed to secure 1 point on each map. No, they got 2 on map 2, right?
I believe they did get 2 in one of them. Yes, yes, and I think it was.
Oh no, it was cargo. No, it was cargo. Yeah, because they were on the ropes 3-1, and they made a comeback Marsoc play, and then it ended 4-2.
Yes, indeed. So the final score is 12-4. Not quite as close as the scorelines we've seen in the past from these two teams. So Globochem definitely shoring themselves up since the last time they met Mayhem. And Mayhem maybe just having a bit of an off day. I'd be excited to see this rematch again real soon. But, Sleepy, any final thoughts on this match?
No, it was a good match. I think we covered it pretty well throughout the cast. I just don't think Mayhem was able to bring their 100% game to this one, unfortunately. And like we said, you just can't do that when it comes to playing against Globochem. They so rarely have off days themselves. It's just never a good thing, unfortunately. So, and it doesn't matter what team it is. If they bring a bad game, a bad day to a Globochem matchup, they're gonna lose, because Globochem, again, they just really don't get shaken. They don't get beat down very easily. I mean, we've even seen them come back for some pretty crazy deficits before in like pinch times, like absolutely must-win clutch rounds every round up until they're secured again. So Globochem is definitely one of the hardest teams to beat. You really just have to go in there with confidence, but without ego, because that's what gets a lot of teams in the end. But again, Mayhem, I don't think just really having the game that they should have had today. They still played well, as we mentioned. It just didn't play to the level that I think we or they really anticipated coming out today. And so the score, not really reflective of the rounds. The rounds were quite close for the most part, only a few of them being a little bit more blowouts. But overall, a great series. Congratulations to both teams. Of course, congratulations to Globochem for winning the series. And yeah, like you, I'd be happy to see this match, and definitely happy to cast this match again if a rematch ever does occur. And hopefully, with that one, we can get Mayhem on tippy-top shape with all their top guys in against Globochem, and really see who shakes out, see if Mayhem does have what it takes to de-seat Globochem from their throne.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Sleepy, and thank you everybody else for tuning in today. We do appreciate you guys spending your time with us here on the cast all weekend. Hope you enjoyed Customs Map Tournament, brought to you by all the custom map creators, as well as our fantastic moderation team and our casters. Thank you to all those guys. Thanks to the regular teams and the regular casting and all the regular games that we were able to bring to you. You'll obviously be seeing a lot more of those as the weeks go on. We do ask that everybody stay safe in this crazy time right now, and as we mentioned earlier in the cast, do not donate to us. Donate to a medical facility of your choice, or really, I mean, anywhere that you can donate any amount of money. I think there's a lot of people in the world very much deserving of it, and we'll keep bringing you casting stuff however we can, so don't you worry about that. I do want to thank our sponsors, ProTube and VR Cover, as well as a new sponsor, Fixed Gaming, which is a fantastic sort of stream audio soundtrack team. They have some fantastic music available that we are using in some of our VRML productions. You can check that out on the Echo Arena VRML channels. Fantastic music there, but go check them out if you have not. So thank you to those three, and I think with that we are going to sign off here on this fine Sunday. Everybody stay safe, and we will catch you next week.
Good night, everyone.